On the court, all stars make assists look easy. Behind the back, no look, or off the backboard, they're dropping dimes nonstop. That's how we feel about coverage and savings. Combine your home and auto with State Farm and start your own assist highlight reel. After all, even all stars need an assist. Call agent Paul Darning for help combining your home and auto and enjoy the savings. Dial 219-884-6947 or visit www.pauldarning.com. That's PAULDAWNING.com. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. So thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I'm going to remind you again to go ahead and share the show. I want you to follow the show wherever you are. Actually, go to Spreaker and follow me at Spreaker. If you're listening on Castbox, follow me on Castbox. And then I also want you to like the show. If you like the show, hit that like button as well for me. I would truly appreciate it. So what we're going to talk about today when it comes down to helping you improve your credit. The whole point and purpose of this show is to help you increase your credit scores. That is going to lower the interest rates that you pay, and that's going to save you money, put money in your pocket, and we all definitely want and need that. So today on the show, we're going to talk about the impact of credit on your life overall. So not just the fact that you can get stuff with your credit. You know, if you got good credit, you can go in and finance different things. We're going to talk a little bit about other things as well, how they will impact your life. And we're going to give a hard example today as well to show you what the difference is if you have good credit versus bad credit when you go to, say, buy a vehicle. So we're going to unpack that today. We've got a good question of the day, which is a general overall question. I get this question almost daily. So we're going to deal with that question today. It's not going to be attributed to one particular person, because seriously, almost every day somebody asks me this question, and it's a hard question to answer. So we're going to dig into that today. And it probably is even going to be a credit score kiss for you today. We haven't done that in quite some time. If you're new to the show, show comes on 1:30 Central Standard Time on Saturdays. It's supposed to be half an hour. I usually run my mouth a little longer than that. So it might be 35, 36, 38 minutes, something like that. We have a question of the day that typically comes from you, the listeners. If you have a question at all about your credit, please do not hesitate to contact me. New email address. Contact me at 800@creditscoreman.com. That's 800@creditscoreman.com. So you can contact me there with your questions. I will answer your question directly to you in email form. Or if you would like to jump on the phone, we'll be able to talk about it as well. And then you may become part of the 800 Credit Score Man Show family, because I may use your question on the air. So that's how that works. And then it's been a long time since we did a credit score kiss. KISS is for Keep It Smart and Simple. And that is some homework for you guys, if you will. Something for you to do, some actual action to help you move along with your credit score and help increase your credit score. So we're going to have a little credit score kiss today, I think, if I remember it and we don't run out of time. So today we're going to talk about this impact on your credit. So you know that your credit can make or break you. You know, it has a profound impact on your money, and that means it has a profound impact on your life. So the whole point, like I said, is for you to pay less money out of pocket for things that you don't have to. Increasing your credit can absolutely do that. Your credit scores can absolutely do that. And we're going to talk a little bit about other ways as well. So you're aware of that importance of, you know, the credit score helping you to buy stuff, you know, stuff that you need, maybe things that you absolutely want. So there are wants and needs. So maybe some things that you want or need that you might have to finance because you just don't have that kind of money sitting in your bank account on a monthly basis. Or so you may have the opportunity to finance those things with your credit. Now, if you've got good credit, it'll allow you the ability, of course, to finance homes and cars and furniture and appliances, all those kinds of things. It also will help you finance those things that you may need to repair in your new home if you get a new home, or you have an auto repair. Sometimes you have to finance those as well. So good credit can help you do those things. It's when you don't have good credit, when you have bad credit, is when you really, really fall in a bad position and you're not able to get the things done in a timely manner that you need to. A very good example of that, just off the top of my head now, is with car repairs. You know, you're driving your car, you hear that squeak or whatever it is going on with your car, but you don't have the money to go ahead and get it repaired. And oftentimes we don't have the money to even go have it get looked at, you know, because it might cost you $150 for them to do a diagnostic. It might cost you $200 for them to do something like that for you. But if you have the opportunity to get it financed, then you can spread those payments out a little bit. It may relieve some of that pressure for you. So that's how good credit can help you. Now, you all know that bad credit can stop you from acquiring these items that we just talked about. You know, if you've got bad credit, it's going to be very difficult for you to finance a home, or to cost you more money to be able to finance a home. Same thing with the car. Same thing if you have to go up in one of these stores to buy you some new appliances or whatever it is. When you have those emergencies and you have bad credit, it is very, very difficult for you. It just adds more pressure to you and your situation at home. So we're going to talk about those things all on today's show. So let's talk a little bit about how you can restore your credit and what you can do with a good credit score versus having a bad credit score. So one of the things that you can absolutely do if you have a good credit score is live wherever you want. So everybody's not going to be buying a home. It's not the only reason for you to get good credit is so you can buy a home and get a better interest rate and buy a home. There's several other factors. So one of those factors are even renting apartments. Some people are transient. They may be here a couple of years. They plan on changing jobs. They don't like where they live. They want to move somewhere else. And so it may not make sense for them to purchase a home. So they may rent an apartment. Other people just don't like having to do the maintenance on a place. If you own your own home, I just talked about financing some appliances and whatnot. You don't have to do that if you're in an apartment. Something happens to the stove, you make that phone call, and then hopefully they bring you a new stove right away, or they send somebody out to repair that stove for you. So you may want to rent an apartment. But if you have some bad credit, it can impact how or where you can live. So apartment complexes all over the country, they set their own standard. So their standard could be that they require you to have a 625 credit score, for example. So if you have to have a 625 credit score and you don't, then you can't live in those apartments. So that is where it comes into play for you. I absolutely know people, more than one, several people. Off the top of my head, I can probably name 5 people that have stayed in the same apartment at least for an additional year, sometimes an additional 2 years, additional 3 years, because they couldn't go anywhere else. They couldn't go anywhere else because if they went in and put an application in somewhere at a different apartment complex, they would be denied because of their credit. So this is one reason, one very, very good reason for you to go ahead and work on your credit. One individual actually has improved a whole lot since they got their first apartment. Has improved a whole lot as far as their job is concerned, as far as being promoted, as far as getting more income, but they never addressed their credit issues. They haven't addressed their credit issues. And because of that, even though this person can buy a better car and they have money in the bank and all of those things, they can't move because they can't get anybody to go ahead and rent them apartments. So it can absolutely hurt you when it comes to where you want to live. And some of the better places, as far as geography-wise, because they're in a good neighborhood or they're in a very good school district, then they had the ability to say, well, we don't want anybody without, a 650, or with somebody that doesn't have a 700 credit score. We don't want them living here. So that absolutely impacts other parts of your life when it comes to your credit. And it's all because of your credit and you not being able to get that apartment and move on to where you want to go. So that's one impact that your credit can have on you that's not tied to buying stuff. So you have that with your apartment. It can also, of course, impact your job. So some places require that they look at your credit. And let me say this about looking at your credit. People always, are uh, guarded about their credit score, the score itself. So when an employer or a potential employer looks at your credit, they don't see a credit score. See, that's not their thing. They're not evaluating if they're going to give you some money because you're trying to borrow money or what have you, like a bank or, a credit union or something. So they're looking at your credit overall. They're not looking at your credit score. So some people don't want you looking because they don't want you to see that they have a 525 or whatever the score is. But when a employer or potential employer looks at your credit, they just get to see your accounts, if you're on time with them, how many times you've been late, all of the things that happen to be on your credit report. That's what they get to see. So how does this impact you? How does the whole job portion impact where you are and what you do? So it impacts you this way. Depends on your industry. One, it depends on your industry. I always give this example about you working McDonald's and you working fries and trying to get on the register or what have you. But it's not only there. If you work at anything that deals with money, so if you're in Northwest Indiana or if you're somewhere where there are casino boats, it may impact where you can go on the casino boat to actually work. If they'll allow you to be a dealer for blackjack, if they will allow you to be in a count room and count money, if they allow you to be on security or what have you, all of those things can impact if you can get a job there simply because of what your credit is and what your credit might be. So it's important for you not to have this barrier for you. You may have other barriers. Maybe you got a speech impediment. Maybe you got anything else that people may look at that means like, I don't know if we want to hire this person. Let's not let that be a barrier. If you're higher up on the ladder than any of those things, and you're in corporate America, if they're going to give you a corporate card, but you have bad credit, then you may not be able to get this particular position because that position comes with a corporate card, and you can't be approved for that particular corporate card. And you don't have to necessarily be an executive for this to happen. You can be a sales representative for a company where you fly all over the country, or you have your own little specific territory, and they give you a credit card because you have incidentals that are that should be paid for by the company, and they don't want to put that burden on you paying it out of pocket and being reimbursed. Then you may have to get a corporate card for that as well. And if you're not eligible to get that card, then you may not be able to get that job. Even if you're looking at maybe working at a bank or at a currency exchange or anywhere that may have to deal with money. I don't care if it's the utility company and you're the person that collects somebody's bill for utilities and you collect money there, then you may have a difficult time getting that job. Some of those jobs, especially if they deal in finance at all, they also check your credit report periodically. So if you work at McDonald's and they say, we're going to go ahead and we'll check your credit report, they might do that initially when you're hired. They may never do it again, or they may not do it until you have an issue at work 5 years later down the line and they say, hey, we need to investigate something. That's when they might look at your credit again. So it's important for you to get your credit up, your credit score up, and to maintain it as well. So we're going to help you with that. If you come in and listen to the 800 Credit Score Man show, we'll help you with that. Now, this is one that I love to throw out when it comes to your credit and your credit report. Wait a minute. Let me break on that one. Let me break. I'll use that on the other side of the question of the day. We'll use that one for you on the other side of the question of the day, how your credit can impact other parts of your life. We'll do that on the other side. Let me throw out a shout out. I didn't do a shout out at the beginning of the show. Let me shout this one out first because her birthday is today. Carmela Bland. She celebrates a birthday today, so happy birthday to you, Carmela. Let me shout out Greg King. His birthday is tomorrow. Yes, King, K-I-N-G, just like mine. That's my cousin, also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. This man is one of the reasons that I wanted to join this illustrious fraternity, so happy birthday to you, Cuz. That's Greg King. I got to give a shout out to Rob Jackson. Rob Jackson celebrated a birthday as well a few days ago. A motivational speaker, Rob Jackson. You guys look him up, Robert Jackson. Happy birthday, brother. Kyle Street. Kyle Street celebrates a birthday today as well. So happy birthday to you, Kyle Street. He is on the radio somewhere, everywhere, been all over the country doing radio. So happy